What's up, y'all? Let's get our folks in.
Revolution. From the front to the back, pages turn. Reading is the very best way to learn.
Hey, 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 reading rainbow. Y'all ought to know this song by now. Hey, listen, place to go. Reading rainbow. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, yes, get on up in here. 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 What's up, MVP? What's up, Big? What's up, Keish? What's up? Hey, I got a hot show for y'all tonight. What's up, the Sensei of Chicago? Hey, what's up, Granny Dimples? Hey, 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 butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Hey, 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 hey. I hope y'all ready. Now get all your things. Get all your things. Y'all got time. Get all your things. Hey, 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 hey. And we live, baby. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Up, 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 up. Y'all already know what time it is. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Instagram? We are live on all three. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Y'all already know what time it is. It is 9 o'clock Central Time, okay? Usually it is a little bit something like 8:55, but it's okay. We're working a little bit on CP time. And it is Throwback Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, Turn Up Thursday, the Library Podcast Thursday with me, the one, the only, Ike with the mic, aka the Potty Mouth Princess, and I have a very special guest today. Tonight's guest is one I hold near and dear to my heart. Born as the eldest of 5 children on the south side of Chicago, she was always a leader. She began her entrepreneurship as a tiny tot that would sew beanies and sell them locally to neighbors, friends, peers, actually to whoever would buy them. Okay. This didn't just stop there. It continued on into her adult years in starting ventures like Your Vision in Her Eyes, being a regional sales director, and she adds to her portfolio and to her resume by being the queen of I'm Outside, okay, and RIJ3 Management and RIJ3 Studios. We can't wait to see what's next. She has so many titles: businesswoman, mentor, friend, sister, daughter, but my favorite title of all is my mama, my OG. So y'all welcome Rosa to the podcast. Give her a warm library welcome. What's up? What's up? What's up?
No, I'm inside.
But you outside. But you outside.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah.
Get comfy.
I got to the library on the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah. It feels good to be on the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah,
on the inside.
I've been taught to have your red cups. So
yeah, get your red cup, get comfortable, get set, get seated. We have a nice little fireside chat today. Yes, mother, you better have your book.
Yeah.
got your notes ready, honey.
Yeah. Because in the past, you just come and you just freestyle. But I got some tea and some things for you tonight. So mother may forget I had to bring my glass.
People?
Yeah. So I'm inside. So I got to be able to see what I'm doing.
Yes, indeed.
That part.
So, I just did a little brief introduction for the people, but I would like for you to expound. Hopefully, I hit all the points and the marks, but you expound a little bit more on who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, so where will I begin? Let's start on a simple term. I'm a mother,
Yeah.
first and foremost.
Very high.
before anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Another role I've taken on, I'm a grandmother.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm a businesswoman, took on a lot of different, I don't want to give y'all all my tea because, I made this as public records, calls may be monitored for quality assurance. But no, I'm inside. So I've worn a lot of different hats over the course of my years. And I'm sure as time goes on and throughout this conversation, we'll get into it.
So I'm gonna just jump right into it.
Okay.
What has been some of your inspiration to be such a business-minded person?
So growing up as a young lady, I had this motto, and I had it for myself years ago. I didn't believe in no, and I didn't believe in I can't. And I never understood why I said that. Every time obstacle came in my life, I've been married, a couple of times, and I always tell people now the story. I had 5 cats, 9 dogs, and you name it. So over the course of time, even though I went through obstacles in life, I always never believed in knowing I can't. And that's what stemmed me into becoming the person. Because when you don't believe in knowing I can't, that brought me to the terms of growing into who I really am, because I became a salesperson. I'm a natural born salesperson, period. Don't forget that part there.
So, a natural born salesperson, explain to me what that means on layman's terms.
Okay, so when I say that I'm a natural born salesperson, a lot of people don't necessarily understand that. And when I say a natural born salesperson, I use it for the terms of business, because you are a salesperson. But if you have a compassion for people and what their dreams and visions are and what they want, that's where sales come in. But in actuality, it's the passion for the people and their desires of what they want in life. Not that salesperson is for the terms, but the inside terms of a salesperson is a passion for the needs and the wants of the person. And because I don't believe in knowing I can't, I'm adamant about giving a person or prospect, now client, because I've grown on in life, the needs of what they need and want.
So pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is because of your people skills and you being a people's person, you're able to connect with people in such a way that if there's something that a product of something that you're selling, people buy it based on the connection, not so much because you can sell it.
Correct.
Nice.
Same thing with me as my personality. I'm outside, I'm inside, because I'm passionate about the need of the person. And I'm still praying about that, because I'm thinking like, as time goes on, you guys don't understand it. I kind of had to get away from that a little bit and take it to the I'm outside but inside, because that energy and that sales and all that I was giving to the outside, I had to bring it on the inside. And that's what you're going to find out later on in this conversation. Help me kind of pursue where I'm going in this journey of life. So it's still sales, because everything in life is sales. You got to be able to, on whatever level, mostly and mainly in life, you got to be able to convince yourself. But you start selling yourself to other people, but in actuality, you have to really sell yourself to yourself.
Ooh, that's a gem. That's a gem. That's a sound bite, y'all. Shout out to Louita. She said, "Yeah, you can sell your drawers off." So you are speaking about this term, I'm outside, and I even said it a little bit in your bio. Where did you come up with that term, and why?
Wow. Okay. So I got to keep this very small in conversation, but to the point. So when we went through the pandemic and I was always inside, I had to find the means to be an outside. So I took it on myself, because we were so closed in, and during that course of time, I was going through my transition of finding what do Rosa really want in life?
Mm.
So I just started saying, when I had to be inside all the time, I'm not inside, I'm outside.
Mm.
And I used that term during that course of time because we was inside so much. So I had to be outside mentally. Then once they allowed us to go back outside, I had to go inside. So then that balance came to I'm inside, but no, I'm outside because I learned the terms of inside and outside when I got by myself and learned the true meaning. Outside is outside because you pick that. Inside is a whole different meaning. Yeah. So yeah.
So
Yeah, I have to
yeah.
My brain is really going.
I know.
My paper,
Your notes and
my glasses.
your
Yeah, I can't wait to get to see that.
So you just to sum up what it is, I feel like you're saying for the audience is during that time in the pandemic, where we were all pretty much stuck inside, you had to think outside of the box. And so that was your outside of getting outside of your body, getting outside of your norm, getting outside of what was expected at that time.
Correct.
And then now everybody was able to be outside. Okay, now I got to be inside because now I've had the opportunity to be out of the box and figure out what I am outside. Now inside, inwardly, I'm doing things now.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So I'm trying to stay like walking the path because I'm so fast forward right now because my outside and inside is different. But I'm trying to take you and help you guys understand where it came from. So basically, what Lil Lucy, I put my okay, all these names, yeah, that what she's saying is absolutely correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. So we've talked a little bit about your inspiration. We talked about who you are as a person. As a businesswoman, what are some of your biggest obstacles that you faced in doing this?
Learning to be okay with the decisions that I make. You have to, I would tell any woman, you have to be okay with your decisions that you make because when you're growing up, I'm not ugly.
Okay.
I've been down the block, right? And I've always, if you question yourself, because what happens is when you have a personal relationship with your higher being or whoever you guys believe in, I know these calls and these conversations may be quality, monitored for quality assurance and training purposes. So I never want to step on nobody's toes because I have a product to sell you. So I don't want you to believe that I believe in it. I have my personal relationship with my God and my higher being, but that's different. But when you have that, and you always questioning what you want, because God or whoever your high being or your intuition, it tells you the soon you get ready to make a decision if it's the right, the answer comes to you instantly within seconds. But it also goes away, and God forbid you have someone sitting there while that thought comes to you, and you blurt it out. They may not necessarily understand it, and they give you their vision, and because you're not inside, you forget where you're going and you follow their journey.
Yeah. I just got goosebumps here because you said some rich stuff in that small thing. You said one of your biggest obstacles was learning to be comfortable in the decisions that you make. And so I think a lot of people are, that sounds so plain, right? When you just say it aloud, because you're like, well, I make decisions every day, or, I choose to wake up and go do the things that I want to do, or I chose to be a mother, or I chose to be, to cook breakfast today. But when you are thinking about business and thinking about things that are not seen just yet, right? You are visioning, you have a vision. And so being okay with running into that vision or running into that passion and just crashing into it where other people may be like, play it safe, So in doing that and that being one of your obstacles, how did you overcome that? How did you?
As much as it may look like I come inside, but it was self discipline.
Mm.
I had to discipline myself to the 20th power, even though I found things outside to help me sustain my inside while I was dealing with self-discipline. So when you deal with self-discipline, sometimes you got to take yourself to the least personal, to the least common denominator to understand who you are as a person. So I had to like self-discipline myself. I'm trying to help you guys understand it because my process may not necessarily work for you, but I want to give it to a terms where hopefully what I'm saying will help you understand it from your perspective. So I had to take myself to the least common denominator. Like I had to like things that I may would like or things where I would do. I had to go make sacrifices. I had to discipline myself to conquer what I really want in life for myself.
So, without getting too in your business or however, just being as free as you want, you let me know if I'm stepping on toes or if, you just give me a look. But when you speak about sacrifices, because I think a lot of times and in a lot of terms, we as Black people, we as women, we as men, we as a universe, we hear sacrifices and we say, well, I stopped drinking that Starbucks coffee, that $5 coffee every day like I used to. And we think that, okay, well, that's a sacrifice. Or, me, for instance, I'm reading my Bible more and, so that may be a sacrifice. But when you speak about sacrifices in your business journey, if you will, and if you feel comfortable enough, can you expound a little bit about what those sacrifices look like and how that affected your relationship?
I don't know if I'm necessarily ready. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Simple things. I've always been a lady, look like the lady that likes to always have fun. I was always a different individual. So doing that course of sacrifices of self-discipline, I still had to portray that person, but not be that person. So I found a means to still look like that person on the outside. But I was really being a different person on the inside. So I had to paint a facade. And I was painting a facade because I was on the lakefront. Because this when my transition happened, I was housing it up. But house music, if you really listen to it and you know the true meaning, it's very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
And I knew that I liked to go out because I used to hit all the clubs. I was a Geno's queen. Now they be like, we don't never see you no more. I don't even see myself no more in this industry. Period. Because when I didn't know Rosa, I sat on all the bars. Time again. Because I can still have me a cocktail, but I can do it on a different spectrum.
Yeah.
Because when I'm drinking now, I'm drinking because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking just to be drinking because I'm trying to find my way. Yeah. So I found myself minimizing my space. And I was still painting nice pictures. I'll send you a picture of the lakefront. Of course, I still found a means to stay that person. I downsized drastically. I moved into a studio. Moved on 11th floor. I had a nice view, but I downsized financially. I made sacrifices, but I paint pictures to make it look nice because I don't know what's going on inside. So if I keep you outside and don't bring you inside, you have no clue where I'm going or what I'm doing. So I'm gonna paint all those pictures for you. I'm gonna go on the lakefront. I'm tipsy. I'm turned up. I'm listening to all. But in the meantime, when you don't see me,
you're quiet.
I'm putting it together. And when I'm out there on that house music, and I just was building a relationship because I knew my strengths and what my capabilities were. And when I stepped out on faith and I gave it all to God in my personal relationship, I'm not perfect. I'm not standing here and tell you I'm Jesus, I'm this. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just telling you what worked for me, and I'm hoping whatever I say, because I'm a natural born salesperson. I like to sell, but I'm a different type of stuff. So I hope whatever I'm sharing with you would enlighten you, because we as women, we go through so much in life. We have we wear, look, I got on my Hamilton hat. We wear a lot of hats, baby. I don't wear a lot of them. When I came to terms of the hat that I wanted to wear, my came inside, and I was able to calm this person down now. But we're gonna walk out on down memory lane. Let me get. I'm let's see. Come on now. I'm college. But yeah, I'm sorry.
So no, this is so rich, and I wanted to really have this intimate conversation because I think it's so important, right? Because as and this conversation is not just specifically for Black women, but we are obviously two Black cisgender women sitting here, so of course our stories are going to reflect those of what we have been through. And so a lot of times in our culture, we are very private. We're very never let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And then so when the next generation comes, they go into it blind. And then, the generation before them just say, you got it, baby, just keep going. But they're hitting the same bumps that the generation before them hit. And the generation before them is not steering them. They just push them. Just go. You'll figure it out. Just keep going.
And be off a cliff.
Yeah. When they could have easily outlaid a blueprint, or at least not a blueprint, but at least laid out their story and their obstacles to some help you along the way. I think it's an old saying biblically that says, a fool learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. And so as Black people, if we are not hearing other people's mistakes or other people's stories, generationally, we're going to be fools because we're learning from our own, fixations and our own troubles and tribulations that we're doing. So sacrifices, obstacles. What has that gotten you now? Where are you now?
Well, it's so ironic because it have really took me to a platform of building a portfolio. That's a whole different term than I have ever had in life, right? I've had the house with the picket fence and the dog, the husbands, that beautiful home. I drove Porsche trucks.
Yep.
I had the house that people say, well, why would you walk away from that beautiful home that was built from the ground?
Yeah.
And I felt so clean. But what is going on now, I could finally say I have a piece of the rock. Initially, it started off as, because you don't know, because you're building generational wealth. What really brought that about, honestly, maybe restart visiting life because I want to stay focused. I got a little ADD. I be forgetting, what really brought me into this, though, when I started coming to terms of who I wanted to be, not so much as who I wanted to be, who did I want to display? Because I wanted to be looked at from a different perspective. I wanted people, when they talk to me, I wanted to come off like more, just make it simple, well-rounded. So once I had my grandbaby, my RIJ3, I'm sure y'all know I love him. I started thinking about different things of generational wealth and what can I do to bring about things. Then I started thinking about investing. I started thinking about different things. And I've had the houses. I had this and that and whatever. I work in real estate. I've been in sales. I'm like, why can't I have my own investment property? Why do I have to continue to pay my own rent, my own mortgage, just to have a piece of land? Oh, the piece of, it's that song. Y'all know, like
just like a bird.
Just like that.
I sort of fly free. I own a piece of land.
Just like, I don't know where it goes with it. One night I was having one of the cute cocktails, drinking, and I was like, Kia, Auntie, Kia, it's this song. And she's like, no, I just liked it that much.
Yeah.
Because we've always been raised to own a piece of the land.
Yeah.
And my mom had a good slogan. She used to teach us, You want to just, if you could buy a brick a year or this and that, nothing wrong with it because she taught me and she definitely encouraged me. Now I don't want to just buy one brick. I want to buy 5 bricks.
Yeah.
And I want to be able initially to pass down generational wealth because we haven't. It ain't that we ain't raised like that. It's just we may not know better. Mm-hmm. So what I had to do on my outside, inside, and shout out to people that I started surrounding myself with. I started in Gulf Home Loans. If you guys ever need a loan, by all means. I started educating myself on different things. And I would sit around periodically and I would talk, and I just wasn't getting it. So that's because I was sitting around people that didn't understand my vision. Yeah. And now that's what brought me to now, you guys. This is one of many. I'm building a portfolio. Also launching something different. Family life, my girlfriend here. My used to be broke best friend. Okay. I've now launched a business, RIJ3 Management. Getting it off the ground, investment property. When I say investment property, and I tell people you have to learn how to find tools to help things pay for themselves. Correct. Don't just go, I'm going to be a landlord. You have to be a landlord. Yeah. I own property. There are so many forces in life now that can help you be successful to make things pay for this stuff. And then you take your money. You don't take your money and do what you want to do. You can, but you invested in other things. Correct. So when you, for me, decide that I want to leave this, God decided to take me or whatever the case may be, I have some things that I can pass down, or hopefully my legacy, people that surround me and seeing my walk of life, I can show some form. So when my mom comes, when you let me stretch me out, you can say something besides, Rosa was like, she was inside. I like that part, but I want that outside inside to be looked at this. Yeah. I think I heard a old saying, and I think I might have heard it at like a family reunion or something, that says a family is just like a tree. Each generation is just like a branch, one branch going further than the next. Yeah. And so each generation goes further than the next. So, I think that is so powerful and so meaningful. And shout out to you for doing some investment property and building a portfolio and finding generational wealth. Because that's stuff that we don't talk about often. Yeah. Right? We don't talk about often. And just to say this, initially, when I walked into it because of being raised and because of the real estate industry I'm in. Initially, you want to own a portfolio. Portfolio means you have different properties and it becomes a portfolio. But keep in mind, RIJ3 Management is also getting ready to launch a different aspect of it. Not only are we focusing on investment property. When I say investment, that's like rental space. Rent out your unit to, your 2-bedroom, your 1-bedroom unit. We are turning it into not just investment property, but investment property in real life. We have studios, okay? We have different rooms. We in one, and it's gonna be a studio. We branching off into different things because you keep in mind when you go by, because this right now is a 2-flat, whatever the case may be. You use your property for whatever you want. Yeah. But also RIJ3 Management, and I want you guys to stay tuned. We are getting ready to launch a different thing with RIJ3 Management. We want to start now, and I'm going to put it simple because we're still working it out. We're working it out. We want to have small investors such as myself. We all initially start off as a landlord. Yeah. Okay. And then guess what? There are so many different rules, and the tenants' rights is so interesting. Especially in Illinois. Yeah. Illinois. As a landlord, you knew I took my last $2, hypothetically speaking, bought me an investment property. Yep. Interest rates right now is through the roof. About 6%. Yeah. And so now, hypothetically speaking, I'm gonna give you guys an example because I don't have nothing to hide. you struggling, you starting off, you buy a property, say hypothetically speaking, you spend $250, you're gonna look at a mortgage of about $1,700 a month. $1,700. So if you don't invest it right, and based on where your financial situation is, that may take you out. So you have to, that's what my inside, when I took on this journey, being in the real estate industry, I had to understand the different facets and being okay with making sound decisions. So with that being said, we're getting ready to launch a different thing. It's to help small investors, because when you are an actual landlord and you are a small investor, you may not have the money to hire like property management. You may not have the tools to do it. We're not necessarily going to gear towards that, because we're not. I mean, that's just not where I'm at. If God foresee it down the line, it is. But we want to help people. When you got that tenant that don't want to pay that rent, that's who we want to help you with.
Yeah.
Because that's a different tool. That's a different. We starting off with launching some 30-day trial basis to help you. You may say, Rosa, I got a girl. Yeah, you sitting here talking. Girl, she been in my unit 3 months. She ain't paid an ounce of rent.
Yeah.
We want to help you with that person. So reach out to us, RIJ3 Management. We are launching some different things. We're still combing it out. That's when I got these tats on my side. And that's just in a nutshell. I'm going fast forward, so I hopefully she don't kill me. And but yeah, that's what we at.
Because we'll circle back to that. We'll circle back to it. But I really want to break down some of, because this is an intimate conversation, and there were a few reasons why I asked her to be on this podcast today. One, of course, for business, right? Two, because there's so much wisdom that sits right here in this seat. And my mother, I know her in an intimate way, that she's always been so open to giving out that information and passing it out if somebody wants to hear it. And three, because a lot of people are looking for new, different avenues as Black folks. And so I want to talk a little bit about property. You just spoke a little bit about, if you get, for instance, if you have a $250,000 property, and then $1,700 is now your mortgage.
Correct.
And so I want to break that down a little bit for us to understand, because a little earlier in the conversation, you talked about how you've had the house and the picket fence and things. And so going on this venture and this avenue, mind you, this is a venture that you've done solo, by yourself, on your own, that you wanted to invest, right?
Correct.
And so, and correct me along the way as I'm just giving this at a very high level, but I really want this to kind of pound into some of the brains. Say, for instance, I am a mother, right? And I have enough money to now get a home. And so now I am looking to get a home because I want a backyard. I want a fence, but I'm currently living in an apartment with my child, right?
Yeah.
The home that I'm looking to get is $250,000. And so my mortgage for my house, I'm going to have my backyard, I'm going to have all of my things, is going to be $1,700. Roughly. Right?
Right
and
now, these days.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these are just rough numbers. I'm just really throwing out numbers, but I really want to hit a point.
Yes.
And so now I have a home, I have a backyard, I have a place for my family to convene and to gather and to enjoy, but I am still working backwards to pay for it, right? Whereas the route that you went, right,
yes,
was that same $250,000, right? You took and you bought something that can not only house you, but that can house another family, right?
Mhm.
So something like a 2-flat, something like a storefront, something like, just getting the things tinkering, right?
Yeah.
But that's that same 250,000. Now I may not have the backyard proper, like I would think, or the picket fence proper. But now I have a space where I'm able to charge $1,700 for rent in just one unit, and that pays my mortgage. And then I'm still working my job and doing my thing like normal because I would have to pay it anyway. Right?
Yep. And it frees up money
Mhm.
to invest or do something else because someone else is paying for that space at that particular time. And it's just by choice if this is something that you decide to do.
Yeah. And so, in speaking about that and thinking about you being on both ends of the stick, right?
Yeah.
You've had the house.
Yeah.
And you've been able to provide the backyard and the this and the that for your child and for, family gatherings. You're able to do that. And then now on this aspect, you are an investor. You're an investor.
Absolutely.
What are the pros and cons of each?
Good question.
Mhm.
For me, the pros with owning investment property, you pretty much can live scot-free.
Mm-hmm. Talk to somebody today.
Yeah. The cons about it is you have to be mindful of what you're doing. You gotta be very budget minded. You gotta have like a very concept of how you're gonna make it all work. Because me being a landlord is ideal, but it's so many ways and avenues to make money. That's the pros about it. The cons about it is making sure you make the right decisions to make that money come in. And make sure, don't just jump out there, oh, I got some property, whatever. Make sure you're making that right decision. With a home, I don't know. Pros and cons, I don't know what that looks like. But to me, I'm just bailing out money, and I don't have nothing really coming in. Is the cons for me. Pros is if that's what you like and that works for you, and you're not into. Because some people just don't want to get into investment. Some don't want the responsibility. If that makes sense, because there are responsibilities that come with investments, but you have to want it. So hopefully that helps you understand the pros and cons, because it's a matter of preference. Yeah, in a sense, some people you talk to, they may just not want it. But for me, the house part just didn't benefit me at my age. Yeah. Now, if I still probably, I probably still want to buy, because what they recommend to you, you may want to, before you buy your home, you may want to buy your investment properties first, then get your home, because things is a little bit different. Because then with us, for our skin color, a lot of times they feel a little reluctant with giving you property. They be like, okay, now what you gonna do? They always think we looking for an out, if that makes sense. So investment property, then if you decide later on. But just for me right now, at my age, it just makes more sense to make things pay for itself. Yeah.
Thank you for that. We have a question coming from one of our audience, and I'm going to scoot it down because I see people coming in. What's up, Blue Jack? What's up, DJ King Miko? And this is where the question comes from. It says, it's funny because once I got my associates in business, I wanted to go into real estate. It seems tough for those with bad credit. Is it any way around that, or do I really need to fix my credit?
I'm going to be honest with you, and I got goosebumps 1,000%. You need to actually fix your credit. Because a lot of times we want to take the soft way out. I'm going to give you an example. And this is going to help you hopefully answer your question, because it's going to help you understand, because I'm going to walk you down a small timeline. Ideally, we want it to happen real fast. But when you do fast, credit is built based on the longevity of how long you have the credit. So if you build credit in 6 months, your credit score is not going to grow. It grows based on how long you've had the credit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, young ladies such as myself, I was married, back in the day, making $70,000. I'm like, okay, 70,000 is not 70,000. Back then, 70,000 was great. I lost my job. I filed bankruptcy. Chapter 7, wiped it all away. You thinking, oh, I'm going to get ready to get me a house. I had to wait to build credit. I had to wait 2 years to build it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around. Yeah. So in order to buy your house, take your time, but connect with the right people that would help you understand, because you want to build the length of the credit, not necessarily all them credit lines and I'm gonna buy me all that. You may buy somebody credit line, they 70, they dead, and when you go to buy that house, they're gonna be like, now you 20. Why is this credit line that old? You got to pay attention to that. So the moral of the story is, hopefully I answered it. Just focus on building credit, whatever you need to do. If you got a lot of collections, you got a lot of different things on there, start off first by just settling the credit, settle it, get it to build, and then go back and pay it off, because that'll help your credit. But the longer you have your credit, the better it is. I hope I answered that. I hope, yeah.
I think so. And then King Miko, if there's a follow-up, let us know. But hopefully she was able to clarify that for you. I think as got it, thank you.
Okay.
I think as Black people, credit is so important, right? And we don't understand how important credit is until we want to own things or buy things. And when we own things, that's where our power comes from. A lot of these organizations or white people, they've learned
not the white people.
They've learned how to maneuver. They have. And the reason they've learned how to maneuver, right, is because they were taught this small how to maneuver. They weren't taught at our big grown age how to maneuver. They grew up knowing that in order to get this, I need to do this. So they're in college making business moves, and we're so far behind because we're still trying to figure out how to pay for school, how to do this, because we're just trying to make ends meet. And so I think that's why it's so important when you speak about generational wealth, because it changes the dynamic, right? It changes how we're able to play out in the field. So somebody like me who's older, okay, I'm able to catch a couple of big fish. I'm able to do a couple of things. But somebody like J3, who is my child, now has the same level. He's growing up at the same level of these other kids, because now we have put ourselves in a different position.
Yeah. And that's why I felt like it was so important, because I had kind of got docile. I was like, oh, I'm older now. I could just live this. And my daughter, she did it. She's, got her fiance. She's moving on with life. But then when I had my grandbaby, I'm thinking like, no, I want to be, not taking nothing away, because he got solid parents. By all means, he got a solid daddy that's, got a solid mom. But for me, just on my mentality and what I would want for my grandchild, I look at Trump and all those guys, and we all can relate to Trump because he's had news lately, and he helped a lot of people. A lot of people like, oh, I do Trump. Because Trump put you on. He made you, he made you think about a lot of things. Yeah, and he made me think. If I was frowned upon so much about bankruptcy, you couldn't pay me to do bankruptcy. And when I got on to people that was thinking differently, thinking outside of the box, that bankruptcy was the best thing. If you're in debt, don't let nobody tell you not to file bankruptcy. Let's take it from Trump. I own and I'm moving on. I got so many other things coming because of bankruptcy. But also, I had to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I told y'all my outside went inside, because when you get that new credit, you start doing new things. So you got to be mindful of what you're doing. You got to write out your budget. You got to strategically plan. If you got a bill due on the 15th, you got a bill due on the 20th, you need to write that down. You need to have an alarm system to keep you abreast. And another good thing, just to give you a little gem, always pay your credit card bill a little before the due date. And if you can pay a little bit more, because when you pay before, it escalates that credit. It takes it up. Just give you some gems. You know, I'm just, as I'm thinking or whatever, I'm like, okay, let me throw that, give you a little nugget out there. Yeah, that's, yeah. Mm-hmm. You could have never told me I could get back to this point, because I was constantly trying to get, girl, who filed bankruptcy? Girl, I was digging. I dug a hole so big, girl, I thought I wasn't going to never get out that hole. But when I got out, ooh, look at God. No, I'm inside, because I dug clean up out of that.
So we have talked about RIJ3 management. We have talked about obstacles. We've talked about your inspiration. You've dropped so many gems. I want to ask you an intimate question here. Thinking back to thinking back to 10-year-old Rosa, right?
Okay.
Or 12-year-old Rosa,
okay.
right?
Okay, I like her. She seemed okay.
What would you say at 50 to 12-year-old you?
That picture that I painted when I was 12 and 13, I didn't know it would manifest when I was 50. And that 50-year-old, I would think that 20-year-old knew what she was talking about.
But she did.
Because you manifest who you are when you're a kid. You already know who you want to be, and you may reach out and do a lot of different things with a lot of, different things, because you keep trying to, you haven't found yourself. The hardest thing in life I learned was to love myself. So once I started loving myself, and I was like, oh my God. So that 12-year-old Rosa could have told this 50-year-old Rosa, this is who you're going to be. Then this 50-year-old Rosa is like, you knew what you was talking about. You were 20. But I'm older than 50, but let's ride 50 right now. Okay. And here's another thing, guys, I want to tell you guys. Shout out to a friend of mine, and if she ever see this, she would just laugh. Vanetta Roy. She owns Eat My Biscuits. If you guys ever in Atlanta, go down there and eat them. She probably would die now. Shout out to her. Her and I, Libras, we are very driven people. And what I would tell you guys in life, and I tell my daughter, find you somebody or know of somebody that encourage you during those moments, but but be able to relate to them. Yeah. Don't get somebody, because back in the day, you found that one, I want to be like her when I grow up. But when you grow up, you still need to see somebody that looks like you, that's been through your stuff, and you can relate to. So I look, and Lucy teaching me to talk loud. Why do I talk so loud? Talk loud. But find you somebody that you can relate to. Yeah. That is constantly driving, constantly doing things. Somebody that may scratch their finger. People like, don't tell nobody you scratched your finger. She guess what? If she'll curse out, girl, shit. I didn't curse her. But guess what? I keep going. Yeah. Shout out to her or whatever. She's been a big encourager to me. Shout out to Home Alone. She was a very big encourager as a Black woman, pushing me to reach my dreams. Yeah. So that's just in a nutshell. Of course, your family, your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, everybody gonna support you, because that's just natural. But to find you somebody that you could relate to, that you could understand, that is going through it at the same time, done been through some things. Y'all have similar lives, and you can see how it comes. That's just a nugget too. That's just me. That's one thing. Okay, this library is talking me to death. Okay.
It's okay. That's what you come on the library for.
You supposed to be quiet in the library.
This is the only library where you don't have to be silent.
Okay.
You have really given some good points here. You mentioned about being surrounded by different people. How important is that in jumping into new ventures? Because I know earlier in the conversation, right, you talked about one of your biggest obstacles, and just to catch some of these new folks up, um, one of your biggest obstacles was being around, believing you could do the things that you envisioned that you could do.
What I would say, and I get what she's going on, I hope I ain't jumping. Always be around like-minded people, or people that share some good. There's nothing wrong with it, but as a course of time, you have to understand. And I never understood this. Like, oh, guess what? You get this thing. She thinks she all that. She thinks this and that. Oh, what? Trying to find my way. Nobody but just plain, So it ain't that you're trying to be better than nobody. It's not that you're this. I just need somebody so when I share that thought of what I'm experiencing, you can relate or you can enlighten me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because everybody may not believe in that or don't care about that. And they may say, girl, oh, that guy said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I found myself over the course of years being surrounded by, not to discredit anybody. I just found myself being in life relationships and things of that nature that didn't have the same mindset. Not that that person was in. It's just we was in two different spaces at two different times. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. And I just decided to get off in my little, bubble and do me. And I did it. Yeah. I'm gonna get my own self pat on that.
As you should.
So to all these women that's been through obstacles, whether it be a mother relationship with your child, whether it be a marital relationship, because those things will throw you be on a cliff somewhere about it, because you're trying to figure out how to love this. Oh, I can't say I forgot. You love that person. I can learn how to love myself. I know I'm a grown ass, right? Period. How can I love that person? I can learn how to love me. But when you find and you learn to love you, you'll find that loving somebody else can be so much easier. But then at the same time, you might be like, I don't love nobody. I just want to love me right now. I just want to do me. And do that, ladies, men, cat, dogs, boy, girls. Just love yourself sometimes. Even if it ain't for 30 days, 20 days, just do you. Feel okay. It's okay. And I tell you, get uncomfortable. For you people that's trying to build credit, get uncomfortable to get comfortable.
Ooh. Yeah. I think you just answered my next couple of questions because I was going to ask, what was some advice that you would like to give you?
Get uncomfortable to get comfortable. I moved in a studio. I looked out. The only thing sustained because I was on the 11th floor. I had a beautiful view that I got up every day and looked out. And it's okay telling people, girl, you live in the studio. Yeah. Because I know my vision. I know where I'm going. I'm inside, but I'm looking outside. So I did that outside view to help me stay on the inside and manifest what I want to take on the outside. Ooh. Period. Now, I need me some cocktails because she tried to keep me from...
And on that note, I think that you tell the people where they can find you. You let the people know. Is there any other last thoughts that you have?
No, I just would like, first and foremost, I would like to, y'all want to hear something so ironic? Because I was sitting last night manifesting some things with a good guy friend. Y'all know I got a homie lover friend. We still trying to put this together. I ain't gonna drop some name. I ain't gonna name drop.
Please don't. Please don't.
Because, we gotta make sure we all doing this. But I was manifesting some things, and I was like, you know what? I got some things I'm trying to do. I think maybe I should ask my daughter to let me be on the podcast. And I was at work today, dealing with my prospects. Them people with that credit, you know how they go. And I just happened to look, I had a little downtime, and I happened to look on Instagram, and I see her because she hadn't posted who her guest was. Then I think it was Rosa. Then we talked, and it was just like things manifested, and I couldn't do nothing but just be in awe.
Yeah.
Because I felt like now was the time for me to be able to like share some things, and hopefully as time go on, I'll get into, because I want people to understand it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to get uncomfortable. It's okay. Just make sure whatever you're doing, you're okay with it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, because it ain't easy. It's been a many nights I laying like, whoa, what are you doing? Is this gonna be okay? Because soon as you make a decision, and if you're not okay and you blurt it out, everybody else ain't okay with it either.
Yeah.
You made the wrong decision. So that's where you manifest what you want. I would just tell people, continue to love on yourself, love your family, love you. I love my daughter. I appreciate her. And to be honest with you guys, because this is my daughter, I appreciate what she's doing. I appreciate her and her significant other, what they're doing, y'all. And I'm gonna shout out her too. Look out for them. They're doing some powerful things. And guess what? If you keep that energy around you, everything around you will flourish.
Ooh.
You got to think. So if I was sitting over here in that moment that wasn't doing nothing, not pushing, I told my daughter, I manifest, I don't think you should be working. I'm working a job because that's what I've been raised to do. But if you have a relationship with God, God will give you the blessings of your heart. You don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
Now, working is a learned behavior. But if you do your passion, your passion will take care of you.
Yeah.
Me, I'm starting now. I'll be like, okay, because I'm finally coming into my passion. Yeah. I did a couple of events, and I love her because she's constantly pushing me. I'm getting back into who a lot of people think my relationships was doing it. It wasn't them, it was me. But I was so busy trying to meet the approval of everybody else. Now I don't care. Ro, you wear a baseball hat every day. Yep.
And gonna keep with it.
And period. Ro, you got on stomping boots, you ain't got on those heels. Don't care, because I need to stomp some stuff and get on in the trenches. Because guess what? I may have to go back there in the mud tonight and pull out some garbage cans.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story, I thank God for my daughter and I coming into
fruition, interlocking.
Yeah, whatever it is, we're coming on one accord, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Like she was thinking what I was thinking. Aligned. Yeah, alignment. She was thinking what I was thinking. I was thinking. Yeah. And that's how you know when you're on the right path.
Correct.
And if I could say anything to any woman out there, man or whatever, continue to love yourself. Never give up on your dreams. You may not get it when you're 20. You may not get it when you're 30. You may not get it when you're 50. Maybe almost 60.
And that's okay.
But you did it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Stay on the lookout for us. RIJ3 Management. We're going to be doing RIJ3 Management, RIJ3 Studios. Like I said, we're launching a new product that's going to help people, small investors. Please be on the lookout for that. That's going to go very deep. Looking forward to working with guys. If you guys know anybody, I'm on the real estate side, but I really don't promote that kind of stuff because I'm promoting my own now. So if you know anybody that's struggling with their small investors, not those big guys, because I can't do nothing with them, on a small line that's dealing with some financial issues with tenants that's not paying their rent. Seek us. Perfect. We got some things to work on and help you through. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I would like to thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here. I literally just posted her, and I was just like, she either gonna tell me she gonna do it or not. But I thank you for dropping so many gems. If you want to watch the follow-up and you didn't get a chance to, it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Instagram, and it'll also be on YouTube. We'll pull this audio and place it on Spotify as well. But the replay will be available. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Rosa. Make sure you stay tuned for RIJ3, RIJ3 Studios, RIJ3 Management. I love y'all. Tune into the Library Podcast every Thursday, 8:55 p.m. Central Time. Only got 30 seconds left. If you want to be a guest and you're an entrepreneur, you have something great to talk about, sit here on the couch and let's chat. Hit me up. I love y'all and good night. Mwah. Mwah. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube.